Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well and I hope you have already prepared for your final boards exam that shortly you are going to write. And a few students still they are expressing their difficulties how to cover whole maths in 1 or 2 days and from which lesson what questions are going to arise. They are having confusion. So based on their opinion, just I have made this video. In this I am going to give you few hints there from each lesson. If you cover those questions, that is including all the basic concepts which are included in the entire lesson, hardly 5 to 6 questions from each lesson I have taken. Just you practice and check whether you are thorough with this or not. Once if you are prepared with this, you are covering around 80 to 90% of the lesson there. So almost it will be covered. So as much as possible, those who are finding difficult, for them I have made this one. Just you go through this, whether you are ready with this or not, you check here. Let us come to a few questions directly without wasting time here. Now, under real numbers I have taken few questions, that is hardly 4 questions. Just you go through that once. Find the LCM and HCF by prime factorization method. Here two numbers 336 and 54, it is taken as an example. These numbers are not going to come exactly the same. Okay, it will be different there. But this type of question may arise. You have to be perfect with that. And meanwhile, I will be saying the same question, how it can be twisted in another way. That I will be saying that one. Just you go through that once. Now, the HCF of 630 and 657 is 9. Find their LCM. This is direct question. In case this can also be asked like this. Two numbers A and B are 630 and 657 respectively, and their HCF is 9. Find their LCM. Like this it can be asked. Next, check whether 6 to the power n can end with a digit 0 for any natural number n. Here 6 to the power n it is taken. Some other number may come there. This type of one more problem we have to practice. Okay, this is compulsory, because in case they make it little higher level, then it can be asked. You have to be careful. These are just coming under 1 mark questions, don't need to worry. Next, you see here, prove that. Here, in prove that, you need to focus on two types of numbers here, especially, that is 5 minus root 3 and 3 plus 2 root 5. Either one of that is going to come here for your exam. Okay, either this will be asked, this will be asked. Simple, if it is given only root 2, root 3, you can do that. Okay, but you have to practice for this. Okay, this is important. Next, polynomials. Coming to polynomials, find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 6x plus 9 and state the nature of roots. Means what? They have not asked you to find the value of discriminant there. Directly it is asked as state the nature of roots. Means you need to understand that. After finding the zeros of this, you have to go for finding the discriminant, value of discriminant. After finding that, you should state what type of roots are coming there, okay, based on the value of discriminant. If it is not asked, you need to calculate it. Next, you see, find the quadratic polynomial, the sum and product of whose zeros are root 2 and 1 by 3. Simple numbers if they are given, usually you will be able to solve. In case if they increase the level, it may be up to this level. That is root 2 and 1 by 3. Two numbers are given. One is fraction, one is in a square they have given. If you substitute the values, you will get there. What a polynomial, you can find that quadratic polynomial and you have to practice. Okay, this type of sum you should be able to solve. Next, form the quadratic polynomial if the zeros of the polynomial are. Here, zeros of the polynomial are here root 5 minus root 5. Okay, same type of roots are given. One is positive, one is negative. Second one, 2 by 3, 1 by 4. Both the fractions are given. So these types of problems, this and this, you have to be careful. You have to practice well. Okay, in case if it is asked, easily you can tackle there. Next, observe the graph and find the polynomial. Okay, as it was given in your preparatory, it may come, it may not be coming there. You should be able to find out, because they are not mentioning any type of hint about the polynomial. Looking at the shape of that graph, you should be able to identify whether it is quadratic polynomial or linear, whatever it is. Based on quadratic, it will be asked usually. Okay, you have to go for values. Here numbers will be given, left negative values, down negative, here positive, and here also positive. Numbers will be given. Based on that, x value here on, you will be able to get there. Sometimes they may give you x having only one value also there. Such graphs are there in your textbook. That can also be asked. If two values, if you are getting for x, based on that you should be able to form that quadratic polynomial. And quadratic polynomial is a standard form. You should also be knowing that one. Okay, because in 1 mark question it can also be asked. So this is the potential question that can be asked. Just looking at this, you should be able to form the quadratic polynomial, and you should state what type of values you are getting here x. Based on that you can find that one. Next, find the degree of the polynomial. This is simple one, everybody can do that. Just looking at that highest power of x, you can express that. So easily, it is easy one. So these are very much most important ones out of these two lessons. Okay. Next, let us come to the next lesson now. Now, let us take a pair of linear equations into variables. In these, which all are important questions that we are going to see. If you practice these, whole lesson will be covered. Just go through this one. First question is, check whether the given pair of linear equations are consistent or inconsistent. Means here, you need to find out whether they have solution or no solution. You have to find out that one. So that is why here these two types of questions you have to practice. Here one is fraction, one is simple numbers, whole numbers it is given. Both equations, they may come in this form also, or it may come and come in the form of a combined form, that is one is fraction, one is whole numbers. So these types of equations can also be given. You should be able to solve them, and you have to identify whether it is consistent or inconsistent. Next, coming to find whether the given pair of equations represent intersecting lines, coincident lines, or parallel lines. Means here two equations are given here, x minus y is equal to 8 and 3x minus 3y is equal to 16. Two equations are given. First you need to change them to what? Here standard form, taking to the left side. Then you have to find a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2. Okay. After finding that, you have to compare those coefficients. When you compare, you will get to know whether they are having means what type of property, whether they are coincident or intersecting or parallel lines. You will get to know that way just if you compare those ratios. Okay, so this is one more type that you need to be perfect with. Okay, just go through that once. This one. Next, third one, find a linear equation which represents a line coincident with the one equation they have given. This is one line. This equation is representing one line. With this line, one more equation you have to write. That line should coincide with this one. Means what? Same equation, you need to change it to next equation, because coinciding means what? Just if you multiply the same number here on both sides, if you multiply any particular number, these will be changing their coefficients. That equation what you are getting, that will be representing an equation which is giving a line coinciding with this line, right? So you have to be perfect with that also. Next, you see, solve by elimination or substitution method. Equations will be given. Maybe they may be simple ones like this, that is whole numbers one. Otherwise you need to practice one more type which is involving square roots here. Okay, two equations they are given, pair of linear equations, here one pair, here one more pair. You practice for both substitution and elimination. Okay, just you practice one type, that is possible there. Next, coming to find the number of solutions for the pair of equations. Here x minus 2y, 3x plus 5 minus 20 equal to 0. Two equations are given. How many number of solutions do they have, that you need to calculate. Just if you go through that table which is given in your textbook, so it's easily you can answer all these questions, okay, based on that. So number of solutions you have to find out for this. Next, problem involving finding the age of a particular person can be asked to calculate there. You need to practice this also. Okay, age. One person is twice the other after 3 years or whatever they are giving there, that you need to use the data and express that in correct form. You can get that. Age problem, they are very much simple. They are not much difficult. Rather, you have to focus more on what these age problems, they may come under quadratic equations also. Okay, both the possibilities are there, but you need to be perfect anyway. Otherwise, they may ask you to find the numbers. Okay, there, okay, different types of numbers they may ask there. The problems which are given on the numbers in your textbook, it is there. Just you can practice that. Okay, so these are important questions. Now let us come to the next lesson. Now let us take the questions which are coming from Introduction to Trigonometry as well as Applications of Trigonometry. If you consider here, first question, if you take like this is just asked for 1 mark question. It is just like objective type. It will be asked sin theta equal to 3 by 5. Find sec theta. Other ratios can also be asked here. Other trigonometric ratios. Next, coming to here 2 or 3 marks questions. What they are asking here. Prove that cosec theta minus cot theta bracket square equal to 1 minus cos theta will be 1 plus cos theta. This type of questions we need to practice here. Cos a minus sin a plus 1, cos a plus sin a minus 1, cosec a plus cot a, right? Next, you have to prove this all, right? Cosec a minus sin a bracket, again sec a minus cos a into a bracket is equal to 1 upon tan a plus cot a. This can be asked. Otherwise, 1 plus sec a divided by sec a is equal to sin square a divided by 1 minus cos a. You need to prove. Or else you can go to this also. 1 plus sin a upon 1 minus sin a is equal to sec a plus tan a. Out of these, 1 is most expected one. So we can expect anything may come there. If you practice these, at least it is better. Okay. Next, coming to applications of trigonometry. In applications of trigonometry, I am not giving any specific question along with correct data, because whatever can be asked, data if it is given, usually if you write that given, easily you can apply and solve. But what type of problems can be asked, we can expect little bit. Here if you see what is given here, one angle of depression is given and one angle of elevation is given. These types of problems are not there in the textbook. This is different one. Okay. So like this it may come. You should be able to calculate that. Next, coming to here, whatever may be asked here, height is asked. Here what is asked other than that? Here one side is asked, that is hypotenuse. Another triangles. Next you see here hypotenuse and one side is asked here. In this, what both angle of depressions are given. Okay, one is 60 degree, one is 45 degree, right? Whereas here 30 degree, 60 degree it is given. Next, coming to one more third type figure. If you consider, in this you go through these types of problems, it is better, because since they are not asked, in case if it is coming in the exam, it is better. It becomes practice for you also. Next, here observer is standing from his eyes, that is top of one building or tower they have, we can consider it is 45 degree angle of elevation. Here angle of elevation of another building, okay, which is behind him. If you turn backwards, that angle of elevation would be what? 30 degree. It's top. Okay, like this it can be asked also. Okay, you just go through these types of problems. Here towers height is given, building height will be asked to calculate, and along with this distance of that person from the building or from the tower, it can also be asked. Okay, that proper data will be given and asked. It will not be without giving, they will not ask. You have to concentrate more on such problems. Just these are just like 3 sample problems I have to So anything may come. It is difficult to expect from this, especially in trigonometry. Probability will be many types of combinations of these angle of depression and angle of elevation can be obtained there. So anything can be asked apart from your exercise. Once if you are able to solve all the problems from your exercise that is given in the textbook, you can solve any type of problem which are asked based on that. Okay, this we can say. This is all about trigonometry. Next, let us go ahead with the next chapter. Okay, now let us see which are the important questions coming from the chapter coordinate geometry. In coordinate geometry, if you come to the first question, find the ratio in which the line segment joining the points -3, 10 and 6, -8 is divided by -1, 6. You have studied that. That is section formula. When a line segment is divided in the ratio m is to n, okay, that point we are getting in between. So this point is dividing the line segment of having these two points as end points, right? So you have to find the ratio in which it is dividing that line segment. This type of question you need to practice. Next, find the area of a parallelogram whose coordinates are 4, 5, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, 2. Here these are coordinates of that parallelogram they are given. Using these coordinates, you need to find out the distance of the sides. Okay. Next, you need to apply the formula. Then you have to find the area of that parallelogram. Okay. Based on that, you have to this type also you should practice. Next, coming to find the point on the x-axis which is equidistant from 2, 5 and -2, 9. Okay. Find the point on the x-axis. On the x-axis, there should be this point. It should be equidistant from these 2 points. Like that, you need to find out that point. So this type of question you need to practice, and not solving any type of question. You check on your own here whether you are able to solve completely prepared or not. If it is not completely prepared, you go through the solutions. If possible, I will also help you in case if you need. Next, you see, find the value of y for which the distance between the points P 2 - 3 and Q 10y is 10 units. What they are saying, you see, find the value of y for which the distance between the points this and this is 10 units. These are 2 points. Distance is given 10 units. If you substitute that distance formula by using that, you can find the value of y. Next, coming to distance formula, section formula, you should be 100% sure about them. You should be perfect with that. Next, you see, if Q01 is equidistant from P5 - 3 and R x6, find the value of x. This is similar to that one, the previous one. Also find the distances QR and PR. Okay, what it is asked, you go through this type of question also and you be perfect with that. Next, find the distance of a point -2, -5 from the origin. This you should be sure, because any point if it is given anywhere in the any of the quadrants in the graph from the origin, how far it is, that you can calculate through a distance formula by using that. In that one of the coordinates, that is x1, y1, if you take origin, if you are taking like that becomes 0, 0. By substituting formula, you get that, right? Next, coming to find the area of the rhombus. Here, one more is there. Find the distance and this over. Next, find the area of rhombus. Rhombus is given here coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. Values are not given, they will give you values. Okay, coordinates will be given there. By using them, use that distance formula, you can find out the length of the diagonals here. Once if you find out, easily you can calculate its area. Okay, so this is what we can expect. These are the questions we can expect from the chapter coordinate geometry. Okay, if you cover this, almost your chapter is covered, we can see there. Okay, whole chapter will be covered. Now let us see which are the important questions coming from the quadratic equations. If you are able to solve these types of questions, again you can solve all the questions which are coming in that chapter. Now let us take the first lesson, first question. What is that? In that find the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus 2 root 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Second one is x square minus root 6x plus 2 is equal to 0. These types of equations you should be able to solve, and this comes only if you are able to solve the simple ones by splitting method. That is factorization method. If you are able to solve, then you can solve this one. So these types of questions, if you practice, it is better. Next, coming to find the value of discriminant of the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0, and hence find the nature of roots. Here it is arising the nature of roots. Nature of roots is not mentioned in the chapter polynomials. There it is just a polynomial. Again, the quadratic polynomial is nothing but it is quadratic equation. If it is combined, it can also be asked like that. Means just finding the zeros and the nature of the roots, both can be done for that same. Next, coming to here, find the value of k for the following quadratic equation so that it has two equal roots. Here equation is given. For this you have to find the value of k. If you substitute value of k, it should give what? It has two equal roots. This equation must have two equal roots. Like that you have to select the value of k. If you are able to solve this type of problem, it is better, because what can be asked? Nothing can be guessed here. As much as possible in concise way we can expect. Means only these if you cover, almost whole lesson will be covered, whole chapter will be covered in that. But you should be able to solve these first here without any difficulty. Next, coming to fourth question, find the roots of the quadratic equation, that is factorization method. By using that you should be able to solve two types. You practice 3x square minus 2x plus 1 by 3, one fraction is included here, constant. Next, 3x square minus 4 root 3 is equal to minus 4. Means you should be able to express that in standard form. Then you have to solve that. Okay, it can be asked like that. Next, check whether the following is a quadratic equation. Here this is simple one, just for 1 mark it can be asked. That is x plus 2 bracket cube equal to s cube minus 4. Second one, x into 2x plus 3 is equal to x square plus 1. This 1 mark question can be asked like that in objective type. Next, coming to write the standard form of the quadratic equation. Standard form of the quadratic equation, if you want to write, here it is also coming under objective type, that is 1 mark. That is ax square plus bx plus c, that you can write there. Next, coming to the quadratic formula, you should remember in objective type it can be asked. Next, coming to word problem involving age or boards and streams. Based on this, one question can be asked, that is coming for 5 marks. This we cannot exactly say on what they are going to ask. They may ask in any combined form, in any way. You should be able to express that first in quadratic equation form. That is only most important there. Once if it is done, whole sum will be solved there. Expressing that, bringing that toward quadratic equation form, that is most important task there. Whatever the sum can be asked, but for little extent you can expect it on age and boards and streams. You can expect that one, right? Okay, now let us take the chapter surface area and volume. In these, what type of questions can be expected if you ask? Here, let us take first two questions what I have written here. The formulae of cone, cylinder and hemisphere, that is total surface area. If you are asked to write the formulae just for 1 mark, that is objective type. And even if it is asked for volume also, 1 mark questions will be asked. And for 2 marks, what can be asked is, here they will ask you simple figures only total surface area if they ask you to calculate, that will be for 2 marks, we can say that. Next, if it is expected for 4 marks questions, then they may ask you 4 to 5 marks if it is asked. Then you have to go for complicated figures, such as here what are mentioned here, what I have drawn here. These figures, if you go through these different combinations, they are there. Here one cylinder, 2 cones are hollowed out from that, like this, okay, both of equal height. Here diameter is given, here height of the cone is given, right? In that nothing is given other than that. You can find out the total surface area as well as volume also can be asked. Both can be asked. Otherwise only total surface area of very much complicated one they may ask. Next, coming to here cylinder. In cylinder, one hemisphere is there at one end. From the other end, one cone is hollowed out. Okay, it is removed out from that. Now you need to find out the total surface area of this figure. Okay? This can be asked, or volume of the figure can be asked. Yes. What is the volume of the remaining solid? It may be, okay, whatever it can be asked in volume. Next, if you say here this is cube, on the cube what is mounted? Cone. Okay, when cone is mounted on the cube, what is the total surface area? In case if you are expecting any question which is appearing newly other than old ones, if you want to practice, these are new ones we can say, because different types of combinations what I have mentioned here. Here cube and cone, if you take this total surface area as well as volume, you should be able to calculate. Next, here cube again. On cube this time, here it is a cylinder is mounted on that. Okay, so the total surface area of these two figures, this figure, these two shapes, as well as the total volume, means volume of this total figure there, that you should be able to calculate. Here one hint they have given, here and here both. If you take diameter of cylinder, it may be, diameter of cone it may be, they are equal to what? Length of the side of the cube, both sides. That is why it is written D equal to L there. Like that it can be asked. But questions are simple, don't need to worry. Just if you write the formula, just you take all the things common out, only what remains inside the bracket, there you put the values of substitute and go on simplifying, then it becomes easy. Okay, for each formula if you substitute the values, that becomes very much complicated and it may lead you to wrong answers there. That should not happen. So remove everything common. Here you have to be careful also while removing the common, because here cylinder, here in such figures, here cylinder as well as hemisphere, both radii same here, so you can take pi r common here. If the radii of two figures are different, means two shapes are different in the figure, then you cannot take common that radii. R1, R2 if it is there you cannot take. H1, H2 if it is there you cannot take. For example, cylinder and cone, you cannot take them common. Okay, only if it is same height or same radii, then you can take them common. Inside the bracket what remains, in that you can substitute the values. Next, coming to here a cylinder again, on both ends two cones are attached like this. Total surface area you should be able to calculate from this. Okay, or volume, you should also be able to calculate the volume in case if it is asked. What is given, you see here, height of the cylinder is given and diameter of the cone is given, nothing else other than that, and these of equal height will be given. Next, here coming to next, here cylinder, from one end one cone is cut out, means it is removed out, and to the other end one cone is attached. Okay, now what is the total surface area if it is asked? Here given nothing is it is just diameter is given here, diameter of this cone and cylinder both are same. Next, total length, it is given, total length of the figure, that is 18 centimeters. Just these are examples, you cannot expect the same numbers will be different of course, but examples I am giving here. Next, coming to next one, cylinder and hemisphere combination is there, so you can calculate this also, total surface area as well as volume. If you practice this, here height of cylinder is given and only radius is given, nothing else for the figure is given there other than that. So you have to be perfect with all these combinations, these different types of figures, so that anything you can solve if it is appearing newly in your upcoming exam there. Okay. So as much as possible you be perfect. If it is asked any of such figures, you should be able to solve immediately. Practice well. Take up the questions and try to check whether you are able to solve or not. Now let us take the next two chapters, that is probability and arithmetic progression. If you expect the questions from these lessons, you can look at this here. Out of the textbook, any combination of possibilities means what? Word problem will be asked in probability that can be given based on anything, but it is so simple anybody can solve that. I hope that, because it is simplest lesson, probability. Next, coming to here, what is the probability of sure event? 1 mark questions. These are coming for 1 mark questions. Sure event. What is the probability of impossible event? They may give options. In that you may need to what? Select the right one. Next, what is the sum of probability of all elementary events? Okay, you should be perfect with all these. Next, coming to arithmetic progression. Determine the EP whose third term is 16 and the 7th term exceeds the 5th term by 12. So these types of questions you need to practice. For 2 marks they may ask this one. Means not this one exactly, these types of questions especially, which exceeds more than and all. Which term of the EP means 3, 15, 27, 39 will be 132 more than its 54th term. These types of questions you need to practice a little more. If you are able to solve this, if anything comes based on this, others problems also easily you can solve. Okay, these are involved in the basic concepts. Next, if the third term and the 9th term of an EP are 4 and minus 8, which term of the EP will be 0? Okay, if you want to do this one again, this also needs more understanding. If you are able to solve these, any problem you will be able to solve. Next, word problems involving sum of terms of the EP which can be solved by using the formulae. Here, word problem, you cannot say exactly this will be given on AP. AP includes a wide range of different types of word problems we can expect there. You cannot say particularly this may come, that may come, because it has more applications. So that is why anything can be expected from any field, it can be asked. So you have to learn to express the given data properly. Once if you are able to do it easily, you can go ahead. By using these formulae you can solve it. Okay, here what is this? Here first one, nth term Sn minus Sn minus 1. Next Sn n by 2 into a plus l. This can be applied there. Otherwise Sn is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. That is based on numbers if it is asked. Next, Sn is equal to n by 2. That is 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Any formula can be used. So which is suitable, that you can use and solve there. Based on that, any formula can be asked. So you cannot say exactly this comes there. Only here 5 marks question in AP and in trigonometry. Only 2 questions we can expect out of the textbook. Any combination can be seen. But in surface area and volume, you don't need to worry. Anything can be asked, you can solve. You cannot say that this cannot be done and all. Only from 2 chapters you may find it a little difficult there. But if it is possible, and even from quadratic equation, if it is asked there, it will be skipped from one of the lessons there. Means all options also you will be having there. Easily you can solve and come. Okay. Now coming to the chapters, statistics and triangles. In statistics maximum, what will be asked? Here mean, mode and median. Only 3 are there. In that especially you need to practice mean by step deviation and assumed mean method. You should know, because direct mean is so simple, but you have to focus on that more. Next, coming to here, the relation between mean, mode and median, that can be asked for objective type question, that is for 1 mark. So if you do this much, statistics will be over. So simple it is. Again, Next, coming to triangles. In triangles, these you cannot expect any particular figure in this. In the textbook, what they have given, at least 2 types like this if you practice. If anything is given, you will get an idea how to solve the remaining also. So just you focus these types of what to prove that the diagram problems there. Whatever they are given based on basic proportionality theorem, that is BPT. On that you can practice this. Okay. Here, for example, I have given here only just two. These are not specific questions which are coming there, not like that. Just examples. Okay, you can expect a similar type of other figures. Okay, other figures also you can expect. Coming to here, show that it is asked triangle AEP similar to CDP. You need to show in this figure. Next, ABD similar to CBE. Next, triangle AEP similar to triangle ADB. Here you need to prove this, okay, based on that basic proportionality theorem in that. So wherever necessary constructions are there, you need to make it. So this is not exact similar figures I'm not giving. Just I'm giving you an idea there how to go about there here. Okay, means what type of problems, how to practice that I'm saying there. Okay. Next, coming to here, one problem on BPT that may include finding length of one side of the given figure, whatever the figure it may be. In that one of the side you may be asked to calculate that. Means length you need to find out based on proportionality theorem. Okay, this is not based on a distance formula. Okay, based on that you can calculate that. Otherwise, find the value of P, find the value of T, whatever it is. If it is mixed with that, you need to find out the length or the value of that particular letter variable. You need to find out like that. It can be asked. It is not exactly, we cannot expect this type of question will come in this. Okay, only here. Next, coming to here, find the value of a point P. This only what I said that. Next, one basic proportionality theorem. It is 100% you have to be perfect. This is most expected one. Okay, one basic proportionality theorem, you must practice it here and as well as in circles also. These two theorems, out of that one would be asked. Okay, from each chapter you can expect one like that. So based on that you can go ahead. If it is asked in circles, it may be skipped here. In triangles, if it is asked in triangles, it may be skipped there also, but you have to be perfect with both. Okay, these are what extra things you need to be perfect. Not only these things, if you are perfect you will score high. It is very much difficult to expect. In order to help those who are finding very much difficult, means how to study, what to study, whole book how to cover, those who are thinking, for them to give an idea for what extent they are prepared already, I have made this video. You don't depend only on this. This you check, you go through this. It helps you a lot. Okay, because I have included the basic concepts which are given in the textbook. Based on that, I have set up questions here. Okay, just you go through this and verify yourselves for what extent you are prepared already to the exam. Next, we will go ahead with the remaining last two lessons, that is circles and areas related to circles.